Come on, man.
That the Lord has made, baby.
Huh?
We shall rejoice
And be glad in it.
and be glad in it. Welcome. Get in the chat right now. Let me know what city you represent.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. It's time to motivate your wife, Reverend.
Let's go.
It's time to motivate your life,
Hey,
sis.
hey, hey,
Back
hey,
at it again. It's back up in the building for all God's children. I am the Love and Life coach, Dale Lawrence, and that man right there is the People's Bishop.
The truth is, I'm Batman, but we're gonna go with the People's Bishop today.
You weren't supposed to tell him your identity.
I know. You're supposed to keep it secret, but hey, listen. You know, it's a 21st century media world. You know, we got to let the people in on something.
Hey man, it's the first Monday of July. We're pre-July 4th.
Listen, beginning of the second half. We are at the second half.
Look, before you even get busy, let's look at the date. It is 7/3/23.
Yeah, it's good.
So, I mean, it's a divine date.
Yes.
Already.
Absolutely.
Already divine date. We in the year of Jubilee.
Yes.
And we are about to give you kingdom motivation for your life situation. Bishop, talk to him.
Listen, here's the beginning of the second half. God's going to do three things for you. Number one, he's going to give you a second win for the second half. The first half was the question. The second half is the answer. The first half was the test. The second half is the reward.
The first half was the test. You know what? Let me tell you something. A lot of people, and y'all, I need you to holler at me in the chat. My soldiers, I need you to holler at me in the chat. A lot of folk, Bishop, said for this first 6 months, didn't feel like Jubilee, Bishop. It didn't feel like it. So you saying the first half was the question. The first half was the test.
Yes.
That's speaking to something. I need you to know, we're going to pull from that. Why are some people experiencing difficulties in this first half when it's supposed to be Jubilee?
Well, see, that's just it. Jubilee doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look the way you think it's going to look. Emancipation for the Hebrews meant you're going to have freedom, but that means you're going to be, you ready for this? You're going to be unhoused for years. You're free though. It's quiet in the building already. You're going to escape 430 years of bondage. Ready? You're going to have money because the Egyptians are going to give you silver and gold. You're going to have clothing. You're going to have food. You're going to have livestock. You're going to have everything, but you're not going to have a permanent location. You're not going to have a permanent location for a while. But it's Jubilee. In fact, their year of Jubilee starts out in Exodus 1:12 like this. And the more they afflicted them, the more they grew. Their year of Jubilee began with Pharaoh acting a fool with them.
Oh!
Ready? So Jubilee represents three things, right? Emancipation, celebration, restoration. So the truth is that Jubilee, number one, may not look the way that you think it's going to look. Emancipation means freedom from something, but freedom from something also means freedom to do something.
Yeah.
So because you all don't have a permanent place, Hebrews, this means you got the freedom to go where you want to go, which means you're bigger than your zip code. But now you have to deal with the realities that you won't have the permanency of what you had in Egypt. And even though what you had in Egypt wasn't all I had for you, it's what you knew. So really, what does this mean? Emancipation means I have to give up feeling comfortable. Jubilee means I feel uncomfortable. It's quiet in the comments. It's a year of Jubilee. You better believe that. These only come around once every 50 years. So you better maximize this year while you have it. But this means God says you're not going to be comfortable the whole time.
Wow.
Take celebration, win or win. This also means, though, I'm confronted with choices I didn't expect to have to make. Talk to me, man. If it's win or win, this also means I have choices in front of me I was not expecting to make. I was not expecting to have to make these choices. I was not expecting to have to deal with who was going to replace this person that I thought was always going to be around. I wasn't expecting that.
Talk, Bishop.
I wasn't expecting having to deal with, am I going to do this or that? I wasn't expecting these choices. You ready? And I wasn't expecting to have to make them this quickly. It's one thing to be confronted with a choice that you weren't expecting. It's another thing to be confronted with multiple choices you weren't expecting that you have to make quickly.
Woo.
Okay, all right. That's because emancipation. That's the first thing of Jubilee. Freedom from restriction. Number 2, celebration. It's win or win for you this year. Number 3, restoration. I'm going to make something better. You ready? This is about to shout me. I'm about to do a reel on it.
Let's go.
God removes in order to replace.
Stop the show. Stop the show and
So,
back that thing up.
Let me back that thing up. So for him to give you something better, you listen to me? He had to replace the inferior.
Oh!
But to replace it, he first has to remove it. So you want to know what Jubilee looks like? Him removing people you thought he never would. Him removing things you thought he never would. Him removing some, look at your face. Him removing what you thought he never would. So when we talk about Jubilee, this is Jubilee. Jubilee is God removing things that you never thought were going to be removed in order to replace them. And you're like, God, dude, what's going on? He's like, this is Jubilee. I'm restoring them with someone better, but I have to remove to replace. Job said, the Lord gives and the Lord takes. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Which means if he removed that, he wants to replace that with better. That's restoration. That's what restoration is. But for him to give me restoration, he first has to remove.
Oh!
And here's what I need you to be with it. Comfortable. I need you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I need you to be okay with it. I need you to be good with it. That's all. Your whole assignment is to say, yes, Lord. And I know that sounds so churchy, right? Yes, Lord. Give me yes. Give me yes. That's your whole assignment.
Ooh.
Let me tell you something. This year, Jubilee, it has been an incredible record-breaking year. At the same time, I have dealt with some things, some choices I didn't expect to have to make. I've had to deal with some replacement. Everything I just said are things that I have also had to deal with. But guess what? But it has been an amazing, it's been a record-breaking year. At Harvest Church, we have seen, we as of right now, we are 10 shy of 1,800 people giving their lives to the Lord this year. Our goal was only 2023 decisions, so we are 223 away from meeting our goal, and we're just at the halfway point.
Oh, man, can somebody say supersede in the chat? Can somebody say Bishop and Harvest is going to supersede?
Come on here.
Number for Jubilee?
I received that. Listen, so that's revelation, right? Here's the revelation. In a Jubilee year, you will get to your goals faster than you plan to get there.
Man, come on.
You will get to your goals faster than you plan to get there. You know how? One of the ways that really spearheaded that is I started going live. Every day I would go live, people would get saved. And I'm not talking like 2 and 3. I'm talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. One time I think like 78 people got saved on one live.
Wow.
I think was that number. Amazing, right? So then the Lord said, just go live every day. Because I was working on all these different show concepts. He said, go live every day. I was like, okay. Started going live every day. And every day, 10, 15, 20, 10, 15, 20, 30, 10, 15, 20, 30. And then I was like, whoa, wait a minute, we're on to something. Emancipation. Son, you're going to reach more people through technology and online than you could ever fit in the building.
That's it.
You're about to have an online revival.
Come on, baby. And we are in the middle of one right now. Harvest and Corn. Let's go. Meta Ministry.
Let's go. All day long. All day long. I love it.
That speaks to the spirit. Everything you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And let's recap it. Tell them again what to expect in the latter part of the Jubilee.
So, second half. First half was the question. Second half is the answer. First half was the test. Second half is the reward. When you pass the test, sometimes you don't find out you passed the test until you get your grades in the summertime. Let me tell somebody.
Your own one tonight, Bishop.
let me tell you something. Your grades are in. You ready? You passed. If you don't type "I passed" in all caps in these comments, I'm gonna throw this phone at your head. I passed.
The comments are going crazy. I pass.
I pass.
Put it in there.
Okay.
Put it in there.
I
I
pass.
pass, baby. And this speaks to our title tonight. You will overcome.
Yes. Come on.
You will overcome. Listen, I know first half was difficult. I know, but Bishop
For some. For some. And can I just I just have to say this. We have to put a clarifying word. Difficult doesn't mean impossible. And I think that's so important because sometimes, Lord, I thought it was going to be easy. Just because it was difficult doesn't mean it was impossible. You did it. He did not promise he was going to do it for you. He just promised you would do it. And I think that distinction is so important because sometimes we have this expectation like God is going to lift the weight for you, but you get the muscles. Sometimes we have this expectation like God is going to lift the weight for you, but you get the muscles. That's not how it works. You want the muscles, you lift the weight. Now, what happens? When it gets tough, he'll spot you. Come on here. What happens? When it gets rough, he'll make adjustments for you. But if you want the muscles, you're going to have to lift the weight. I just think that one little distinction is important because sometimes we see difficulty as demonic, and it's not. Difficulty, listen, when I go to the gym, you know how I build muscles? People, oh, Bishop, oh, you got the body, yada, yada, yada. Okay, you want to know how? That stuff is heavy. I ain't in there just talking about, let's go.
Yeah.
You want to know why this shirt tight like this? Because that weight is heavy.
Yeah.
But difficult, it's not demonic. I don't be rebuking the weight in the gym. So why do you rebuke it in your life? Difficult. I just think we have to say that. Because a lot of people look at difficult like the devil does. Stop. No. You getting stronger, boo. You getting stronger, sir.
Wow.
You getting stronger. You listen, you got a strength now. This is why when you tell the devil to back the heck up, he backs up. This is why when you tell cancer to sit down, it sits down and leaves people's body. This is why you have the authority you do because you lift the weight. I just think we have to say that because that's a growth mentality. And a lot of Christians don't have growth mentality. Everything that's difficult, it's the devil. It's the, no, ain't the devil. When I'm in the gym, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. No, you know what I'm doing? I'm like, this body's going to be snatched. This body's going to be, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm rejoicing over the resistance. Why? Because I got this. He gives me strength. I can overcome it. And just because it's difficult does not mean it's demonic. That's the whole word right there.
Man, listen. And look, ain't much to say but to close, baby. Your motivational text for this week, y'all. Wow. You will overcome this. John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you would have peace. In this life, you will have trouble. You will have resistance, like Bishop just said. But take heart, because I have overcome the world. Baby, you will overcome this because greater is he that is in you. Bishop.
In you. There you go. If he's in you, this means you do it. He does it through you. So why remove the weight if he's going to help you carry the weight?
Come on, man. Come on.
It's a simple verse. Greater is he that is in us. If he's in me, then what I face, I'm not concerned about. The Lord is with me. I'd be afraid of me if you're against me and he's with me. Ooh. I would think twice about messing with me if he's with me. Because if he's with me, that means he ain't with you.
Come on now.
If he's on my side, you know what hymn Jesus sung? Bible says they sung a hymn as Judas was getting ready to betray him. Jesus is so petty, and I love it. I love our God. He's so, you know the hymn he sang? He sang this hymn. The Lord is on my side. With Judas standing right there, he's like, come on, let's sing a hymn, guys. The Lord is on my side. The Lord is on my side. He's looking at Judas like, Mark, the Lord is on my side. In other words, exactly. Oh, skeezer, listen. The Lord is on my side. So if he's on my side, Judas, he couldn't be on yours.
Wow.
So if I were you, I'd think twice about betraying me because I will resurrect. By the time I resurrect, you will have taken your life. And that's a word for somebody. Don't clap back. Judas is always exterminate themselves.
Oh my God.
You don't have to clap back. If you clap back, you'll prolong their demise. Don't clap back. By the time Jesus got up, Judas was gone.
But I'm telling you right now, I felt that. That was prophetic. That was for somebody watching live. That was
Yes.
for somebody watching this replay.
Mm.
Bishop said, don't clap back.
Don't clap back. If you clap back, you get vengeance. And God says there's two things he will never share with you. His vengeance or his glory.
That's it.
Those are two things in the word. God says, listen, you can have everything else, but don't touch vengeance and don't touch my glory. My glory I will not share with another man. My vengeance I will not share with another man. So when you clap back and you get vengeance, God says, fine. What you did, that's it. I'm not doing anything. You cussed her out, I ain't gonna watch me. Since you cussed her, I won't curse her. Talk to me, man.
Stop the show.
Since you put your hands on it, I'll take my hands off of it. What you should do is say, oh, okay, I'll leave this in God's hands. And what is this? The scripture says, and it's a scary thing to be in the hands of a living God.
Yes, it is. Bishop, it ain't nothing left to do but pray him out.
Father, this second half will be the best half of this year. Give us the second win we need to make the second half the best half of our lives. And for that, we say thank you. In Jesus' name, it is so. If you believe that, drop that in the comments. The second half will be my best half. And not just of this year, but of your life. Of your life. That's the word. That's the word.
I feel it.
Yeah, that's it.
What we sowing tonight?
You know, in this second half, we're still in Jubilee. There's two seeds. There's a 50 and there's 100. If you're a leader, you need to sow that 100. You need to be at that 100 level. Leaders always sow more because they see more. Leaders always go further because they get more. The leader should always be the top sower. At Harvest, I am our top giver. There was a couple of times when somebody took me out that top seat. You know what I did? I found out and I gave more.
And I know you being a competitor, baby. I know you probably gave
I sure did.
Above and beyond.
When I found out, I said, oh, okay. Well, I bet you I'm about to sow right now. And I did our text again and said, who the top giver now? Go check it now. Go check it now. I'm a giver. That is who I am. I'm a sower. I'm a giver. And so two seeds, if you're the leader, if you're the head of anything, head of your family, head of your business, leader on your job, leader, you need to be sowing the $100 seed. What is 100? 100 is 2 jubilees, double jubilee. I think the reality is in the second half, that's seed number 1. Everybody else, your seed is 50. I really want to push everybody to get this seed in the ground today. Don't wait. Don't delay. If you got to put it, listen, this is going to sound crazy, but just listen to me. If you got to put it on a credit card because you don't get paid until Friday, do that. But if you're trying to tell the people to get in debt, first of all, waiting until Friday is not getting in debt. Okay? That's number 1. But number 2, let me tell you what I had to do. When I went, long story short, when I went through a financial valley, I built an amazing business. The business collapsed, or the industry collapsed, not just my business, that industry collapsed. And I went through a financial valley. I felt like Nino Brown. For the movie New Jack City. Y'all remember, if you remember the movie, he built this business. All of a sudden, over one day, his whole thing is
$1 million week business.
$1 million week business.
A rumble.
Right. Exactly. I mean, Wesley Snipes was hot as a firecracker, right? But that's how I felt like. I was like, oh my God, this business is doing so great. And now this is where it's at. And you want to know what happened? This is what happened. And going through that valley, I said, God, if you teach me how to get out of this, I'll teach other people to do it. He said, son, you're going to sow your way out. So you know what I was doing? I was sowing, and I was sowing on American Express and Visa and every other credit card I had. And I remember sowing and being secretive because I didn't want anybody to say, well, you shouldn't be sowing because you're putting it on a credit card. Because I knew that the only way out of that valley was to sow my way out. And I know to somebody that may sound crazy. Listen. Don't argue. You can't argue with a man who has fruit. And all I can tell you is everybody watching, you need to get this seed in the ground. Even if you got to put it on a credit card, pay it off on Friday, pay it off 2 weeks from now when you get paid. I'm not advocating debt. What I am advocating is what I saw work for me. I was sowing. I remember I would be sowing $1,000 seeds on my credit card, like God. And here, this was my faith. My faith was like, God, I don't know where that's gonna come from, but in 30 days, I'm gonna need that money. Because it was on American Express, so I had 30 days to pay it off. This was the old American Express. You didn't have no pay it over time.
Yeah.
This was the true green charge card American Express, or the gold one that didn't have no option. Now they got these options where you can pay it over time. They didn't have that back then. Then it was, we want our money. Okay?
Yeah.
And so I literally remember sowing one time $1,000, and I felt so good when I sold it, but then I felt so bad, like, God, where this money gonna come from? And here's what it said. Lord, you told me to sow it, so you have to provide it. And can I tell you, he provided it. Not once was there lack. Everybody needs to sow. 50 or 100 if you're the leader or the head of anything. Get that seed in the ground right now. The instructions, where they at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, that's where it's at. That's where it always is. Every Motivation Monday, top of the month flavor. You know, the People's Bishop joins us. And I'm so excited, man. The Soul Ties Tour is in full effect. We're all across the nation. And this weekend, we're going to Harvest, baby.
Come on!
Denver, Aurora area.
Yes.
Baby, Dale Lawrence is coming. I will be at the Courtyard Marriott in Aurora.
All right.
255 North Black Hawk Street.
Come on.
Join me this Saturday night, if you're in the Denver, Aurora area. And then the next morning, meet me at Harvest Church.
Yes, sir.
The best church in Middle America with the great People's Bishop. Look at that $1 million smile.
Come on, man.
Man, I'm so excited about coming up there.
I'm excited about you being here.
And listen, y'all, Bishop treats me well when I come to the city. And when he comes to Memphis, he's treated like the royalty that he is. But let me tell you something. There is a joy that is set before me in Denver called Papa Dog. And I
said joy set before him.
Bishop told me personally, he said, your meal is covered by me for your birthday. What do you want? I said, look, I ain't even tell him what I want, because what I wanted wasn't in Memphis. Stop the show. You ain't.
You sure didn't tell me. It was several days. I said, tell me what you want. It was several days that went by. You didn't say nothing. I said, well, we'll just deal with it when you get here. And what you wanted is here. Come on here.
Papa Dog.
It's going to be good.
So listen, y'all. Denver, Aurora, if you are here listening, watching on the replay, mark your calendars. This Saturday night, 7 p.m., Courtyard Marriott, North Black Hawk Street, Soul Ties Seminar with yours truly, the Love and Life Coach Dale Lawrence. And then the next morning, I will be making a grand appearance at the Harvest Church, preaching at both services.
9:15 and 11:15. Listen, go to harvestchurch.church to get the information here. Denver, 3590 Grape Street. And then, of course, all of our online platforms, harvestchurch.church. It's amazing. We're in a series called Summer School. And you're going to come in for this. You're going to start the second week of summer school. It's going to be amazing. I'm expecting a move of God. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too. Each and every one of my soldiers, everybody on the live, everybody on the replay, I love you so much. God bless you. Get that seed in the ground. Listen, my 100 is sold, baby. Don't play with it. I'm a leader. I'm sowing that hands down, no problem. That's what I do. Our culture, I'm a giver. We live by sowing and reaping, baby. And I see, listen, my whole life is supported through the kingdom system.
Come on, sowing and reaping. That's it. Listen, guys, here's your phrase. You make your living through your giving. I'm trying to make a living. We make our living through our giving.
Put it in the comments, somebody. Put it in the comments.
I make my living through my giving. That is really, and the reason I tell those testimonies is because it's the truth. It's one thing to preach something and not know it. It's another, and it's one thing to preach something always having been at the top, never having gone through a valley. I went through a valley and I gave my way out of it. I don't think you understand how deep the valley was. I gave my way out of it. So when I talk to you about giving and so, this is why nobody can say anything to me about the I don't shut up. I don't hear you. Be quiet. Hush. Because you ain't saying nothing to me. Because I've watched it work over and over and over again. Last Wednesday, I got to tell this and we got to go because we're over time. Last Wednesday, I was speaking at a high school and I wasn't going to do it because it was last minute and I already had things scheduled. It was going to impact that. It still impacted that. But the Holy Ghost said, you need to be in that room. And then when I got there, I found out I was going to be speaking to high school students that the district had labeled as high risk and likely to fail and all this kind of thing. I was like, oh, you got the right one today. I said, because there's some Davids in this room. It's some Rahabs in this room. It's some, you know what I'm saying? It's some world changes history. I was like, you got the right one. Put me in the room with the people that they say ain't going to be done because I'm going to speak life into them. And then ended up being the same high school I graduated from. Get this, in the same library where when I was in high school, I would be in that computer lab, in that library, typing business plans, typing ministry, typing sermon notes, all this kind of stuff when I was a teenager. Okay. So it was crazy. It was just a whole crazy thing. The Lord said, I needed to bring you back here. I needed you to see this. So I'm in this room, I'm speaking, it's a big room, I'm in this room speaking, and there's this girl taking notes, and she's taking such good notes. I said, look, I'm gonna sow into you because you're taking notes. Long story short, I sewed into her. The lady came up to me and said, Bishop, this is all God. I said, I know it is. I got the Holy Ghost, not the Holy Ghost. She said, no, you don't know. Her family is about to be homeless. They don't have any money. They don't have any way to eat. What you just gave them is going to be taking care of them for the next several days. I didn't know that, obviously, but I knew I had to be in that room. Fast forward, that next day, I got 20 times what I sowed. In less than 24 hours, God sent somebody to give me 20 times what I gave that girl. To add blessing to it, I found out a harvester is actually who's over the whole program. One of our online family that I've never even met in person until that day. I met them in person that day, and they walked in, my bishop. I was like, oh, hey, you know, because I didn't know their name yet. They said, I'm so me and my family are with you every single service online. So what am I trying to tell you is that if you release it, God's already. It's like this: you release it from your hand, God is like, and I'm going to release it from my hand, and His hand's bigger. If you release, He'll release it from His hand. So whenever we talk about sowing and giving, I really want to push some of you all. Don't just be like, that's nice, that's good, that's good. And watch me. Here's the worst thing to say: I'm good though. I don't really need nothing, baby. You ain't supposed to just live in a place of not need. You're supposed to live in overflow.
Come on now.
I'm done.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, next week, Motivation Mondays. Each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Central. That's Memphis time. That's Mecca time. Until then, I'll still be the Love and Life coach. He'll still be Batman.
Still be. I know you hadn't finished, but I'll still be.
No, I said he'll still be Batman.
Oh, Batman. Oh, I thought you said Batman. Oh, I still will be Batman. That's true.
Salute. I love y'all. Stay in faith and stay motivated. We'll see you next week. Motivation Mondays. God bless.